windshield. The crew now hustling. Remember, the green flag is out, and Jarrett was running in 6th spot. The back pit's also very busy. A couple of cars pitting over there. The 11 car in, that's the 5-time national champion Jack Ingram getting service from Robbie Ingram. Here is Jarrett exiting down in turn 1. He has made probably his only pit stop of the day. They only need one stop.
Yeah, he can go the rest of the way as far as that's concerned. Here's our points leader, Chuck Bowen, coming into the pits, and Benny Parsons is there.
Man, oh, he spins coming down pit road. His car is sitting on pit road sideways. He backs up, but he's losing valuable time. This could be the 1990 Busch Series National Champion. He finally brings the car to a stop. They were only going to change the right side. They may have to come around and change the left. We'll see what Jeff Hensley and the crew decide to do.
And there's trouble on the backstretch.
And there's a caution flag. The caution flag is waving, so we'll know he will go back on the racetrack. Back on the racetrack he goes, but a very costly spin.
And a spin on the racetrack, heavy contact out of turn 2. A couple of cars have come together. Significant damage on Jack Ingram's car sitting up on the left of your screen. That's the 5-time national champion. The veteran Ingram still sitting in the car.
Jack had just come out of the pits just a lap or two ago. We saw him in the pits on the backstretch, and now up against the wall on the backstretch.
The car on the left of your screen, the white car with a red number, looks to be number 95. Larry Pollard, the Kirby Pollard Racing Oldsmobile, those cars having come together. Out of turn 2, caution flag once again being shown for the 4th time today. Here's just a moment ago our current point leader Chuck Bowen, the Nescafe Pontiac, trying to get on pit road in a hurry.
And he tries a little too hard, Jerry. He comes in, and apparently the rear, well, you see the right front brake is locked up, and then the rear brakes are locked, and he slides sideways as he tries to come into his pits. He has to back up a little bit and then get it straight. Here's the leader, Mark Martin, in. They're making a chassis adjustment on the Carolina Ford dealers Ford, and he gets that service pretty quickly and gets out. Here's Davey Allison getting service on the Texaco Chevrolet.
Very busy pit road. Harry Gant exiting pit road. Likewise here, coming back down, Allison, you see leaving Rick Mast, Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Hillen, Steve Grissom, Bobby Labonte as they come in.
And a tire went out in front of one of the cars as it gets pretty heavy, the traffic coming out of there. I don't think there was any damage done to that tire that came out there, Jerry, but it could have been very serious.
Okay, just minutes ago, out of turn 2, trouble. Larry Pollard's car spins right up in front of Jack Ingram, and Ingram had nowhere to go. Pollard's car across the racetrack, and Ingram hard contact. A great move. Gary Ballou in the Ram car, number 4, just to the inside.
Well, that was a tough break for both Larry Pollard and particularly Jack Ingram, who was a victim of circumstances. Here's the tire that the crew member tried to get in. It looks like it did knock it back into one of Tommy Ellis's crew members, and then the car number 96 comes along and hits it again. There comes Dale Earnhardt out, but he did not hit the tire.
Action everywhere here on pit road on the racetrack, and we are just past the halfway. Don't go away. Lots of laps to come. For green flag action once again, field 2 by 2 coming out of turn 4. Mark Martin will lead the way. Davey Allison makes a move to the inside. Green flag by Pete Babb. They will charge 3 wide in turn 1. Martin trying to hang on. Allison on the bottom of the racetrack. Chevrolet for the Haviland driver of Davey Allison Ford as Martin charges back on the outside. They touch out of turn 2. Here comes Grissom in the car number 31. He was the 4th place car. That is a battle for position in turn 3. Grissom on the bottom of the track. Mark Martin, great Busch Series racing action just past the halfway point here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
Well, Martin's car was a little slow on the restart there, Jerry, and it gave Davey Allison the chance that he needed to move out there, and Steve Grissom taking measure there as well. There's Dale Earnhardt sitting there in 4th place in the car number 3.
Behind Earnhardt is Dale Jarrett. He has lost a lap by virtue of being in the pits when the caution came out a moment ago. He would like to make that lap up. He is working on the bottom of the track behind Earnhardt.
But I think he's going to get a black flag, Jerry. I think he and Bobby Labonte and maybe the Jack Sprague car were out of position on the restart, or either jump the flag. It's going to be a stop-and-go penalty for them.
Davey Allison has pulled away by some 12 car lengths, make it 14 car lengths. He is saying, see you guys. Steve Grissom in 2nd place in the car number 31, a 2-time winner this year, with a bevy of cars behind him. Martin in the Ford, Earnhardt. Then comes the lap car of Dale Jarrett. The 17 car also a lap down by virtue of an unscheduled stop. That's Darrell Waltrip, and right behind them is Bobby Labonte. Battle heating up for second spot is Martin trying to squeeze to the outside. It's Steve Grissom, the Gadsden, Alabama driver. Grissom driving for the Big Mama Meat Snacks Company. That sponsor and company both have gone away for 91, having been purchased by Goodmark Foods, their competitor in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's now a battle for second spot, 2 by 2. Grissom and Martin. Then comes Earnhardt and Waltrip, and the stop-and-go penalty for Dale Jarrett. A tough break from Jarrett, who looked to have one of the strongest car in the field. Also, Bobby Labonte, a stop-and-go just a moment ago. His car coming in. A tough break for that driver. You might notice the Bobby Hamilton car is missing from this fray. He was one of the strongest cars in the field. Moments ago, during the caution flag, here is Bobby Hamilton's car. Now, his car being brought around by the wrecker, heavy damage in the front end of his Oldsmobile, and Hamilton looked to have a great day. But under the caution, he was in the pits along with Gary Ballou. Well, what happened, Vinnie Parsons?
What happened, Gary? Well, we come to the pits here. We rolled back to the caution. We're pitting on the back straightaway. Rolled in, got our tires, and rolled back out. Bobby rolled out behind us just a little bit. Two cars went out fast, and NASCAR official in the pit road, and was nothing coming down the back straightaway. But even if there was, it was not supposed to be a stop sign. We're supposed to blend in because we're pitting on the back straightaway. At that time, Ed Cox put the stop sign on me and stood there, and it was either stop or run him over. I'm damn sure don't want to hurt nobody, and I locked him up. Bobby had nowhere to go and right over the back of me. Probably a real good shot of winning the race.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know, we come from third and ninth, Benny was running fourth, really placing ourselves. And they just told us in the driver's meeting, go out on the back straightaway, stay below the blend line, and blend in adjacent to the cars you come out with, that you come out the side over there. There shouldn't have been a stop sign unless the pace car's like right here. So the pace car's out of sight. So we make mistakes, we get black flag. Other people make mistakes, there's no black flag.
Some of the drivers that are able to smile, but certainly Bobby Hamilton had a shot at winning this race today. Gary Ballou having a good run in the Roy Hills car. Both those drivers are now out of it here at Rockingham. There's the battle. Earnhardt in the car number 3. Steve Grissom trying to hold his on in the car number 31. And, of course, the Superflow Chevrolet. That's the lap car of Darrell Waltrip. Now, Steve Grissom started back in 23rd spot on lap 25. He has moved to 23rd, we should say, all the way up to lap 123, where he is now being shown in 3rd position. Grissom having won back-to-back this year at Pulaski County, Virginia, and also on ESPN, a tremendous run up at Bob Daniels' fine facility, the Indianapolis Raceway Park. He won up there.
Jerry, there are only 8 cars in the lead lap. Of course, Davey Allison is the leader. In second place is Mark Martin. Third is Steve Grissom. Fourth, Dale Earnhardt. In fifth place is the pole setter, Dave Mater. Sixth, Tommy Ellis. Seventh is Morgan Shepherd, and Ken Schrader is in 8th place. Darrell Waltrip is 9th, 1 lap down, and Bobby Hillum 10th, 1 lap down.
Couple of cars running awfully strong. That's Tommy Ellis, the car number 99, the Goo Goo Clusters car. Remember, Ellis will leave that ride at the end of the year and move on to another Busch Series ride. And, of course, our current point leader, the man who could wrap up the series championship here, Chuck Bound, in the Nescafe Classic Pontiac, car number 63.
He is 2 laps down. Sorry, Jerry. He is 2 laps down now, but still trying to move around Harry Kent, who is only 1 lap down. Kent being in the 11th position.
Great Busch Series racing action from the North Carolina Motor Speedway here as they are chasing up front the car of Davey Allison. Allison looking for his first Busch Series win of the 1990 season. Allison has run a number of events this year. 9 starts, his best finish, a 6th place coming in Charlotte back in May. Davey Allison carrying the Haviland colors, the big red and white star on the Chevrolet Lumina, showing the way here, and Mark Martin is in the chase. Laps are winding down. Don't go away. Lots of racing left to come.
Winning. It can all come down to one spark plug. Champion.
Deep and very high in turns 1 and 2. The Carolina Ford dealer Thunderbird at car number 1 of Mark Martin. The Haviland colors for Davey Allison. Red Farmer, the crew chief, on Davy's car. Davy trying to hold off Martin, but he's been coming in a hurry.
Yes, he has. He dropped back on the restart. He had a bad start, Jerry, and got a couple of seconds behind Davy Allison, but he has moved in on him. And watch him as he takes the high groove, trying to move around Davy on the outside. Davy stays down low, and look how high Martin goes, but look what a run he gets off the turn. Now, Davy came off the turn good on the low side that time, so he didn't pick up quite as much as he has been picking up. In fact, he lost a little bit. But now he moves back in turn 3.
Lap traffic in front of the Hal Goodson car. Now Martin has a move on the inside. That's the opening he wanted, and it's a dead heat almost at the start-finish line as Martin now moves underneath Davy Allison in turn 1 and takes the lead away.
Well, you remember, Jerry, when Davy Allison, of course, he drives the Ford in Winston Cup competition, and he drove the Ford for a while in Busch Grand National competition as he brings the Chevrolet back on the inside of Mark Martin, trying to regain the lead as they go into turn 3. He might having the low side on that turn seems to be the preferred groove. They come awfully close, but you wonder what he's thinking about. Hey, that Ford wasn't that good for me, but certainly working for Mark Martin.
Fans on their feet enjoying great Busch Grand National racing action here, the final Super Speedway event of the year for 1990. 30 of 31 races, and Mark Martin, our leader. Martin picking up his first ever win a couple of years ago in Busch Series racing. Davy Allison running in second spot. Allison has yet to win this year. Martin's one win coming on the short track at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, back in July.
Davy hanging with him, at least for the moment, after Mark made the pass. Two Winston Cup drivers battling it out here in Busch Grand National competition. Dale Earnhardt is running in the 6th position right now, and look what a heavy group of cars he is running in. Kenny Wallace goes by him on the inside, so does Dale Jarrett. Jarrett had that stop-and-go penalty, but he has come back up through the field. Tom Peck in the car number 96 trying to move on the inside of the car number 36 of Kenny Wallace. Now that's 4 position. Wallace running in the 12th position. Peck in 13th, and Jarrett was running 14th. Now he's trying to take over that position. All those cars are lapped down, but Earnhardt is definitely not running as good as he was. There's Bobby Labonte in that group as well. Bobby is also a lap down. He and Jarrett, several other cars, had just made a green flag pit stop before the last caution came out.
Out of the race den, Tommy Houston, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Green, those 3 cars. Gary Ballou, we talked to Gary a little bit ago. Jack Ingram involved with Larry Pollard in that accident up in turn 2. Stanley Smith, former All-American Challenge champion. Bobby Hamilton involved in the pit road accident. And Bobby Moon, an impressive young rookie driver, having a partner here this afternoon. Earnhardt going way up high. His car, as you said, Dan, not performing up to par here. He is certainly slowed. Not nearly as much as we thought he was going to slow moments ago, but the car not running nearly as well as he would like.
Well, at one time we thought he was coming into the pits, but he didn't, so he's still running in the 6th position, one of 8 cars on the lead lap, and here are the leaders. Mark Martin still ahead of Davy Allison. Allison hanging on to Martin after Martin made the pass. He had come from pretty far back, Martin had, and closed the distance and then made the pass. Now Davy hanging with him.
Martin showing the way here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Davy Allison trying to hold on. Martin trying to move down on some of the lap traffic there. Jack Sprague's car number 34. Impressive young driver.
Sprague is one of the cars that's just 1 lap down, but he's about to go 2 laps down as Martin now looked high, but decides maybe the low side would be the place to go, but Sprague goes up there as they go down the back stretch into turn 3. Martin has to look ahead of him and also look in the rearview mirror. Now Sprague goes high. That gives the opening that Mark Martin needed, and boy, he drives that Ford under him and just motors right on by. Davy Allison now is going to lose a little bit of time to Mark Martin, it looks like, as Davy might have no problem getting around the Jack Sprague car.
Mark Martin showing the way, North Carolina Motor Speedway. So let's take a look at this track fact brought to you by Quaker State.
You see this pit driven make 10, 12-second pit stop, and you wonder, how did they do it without cross-threading a bolt and a nut? One reason is put your shoulder on the stud. The nut slides up. Even so, every once in a while, the nut will cross thread. When that happens, they bring in a thread chaser, a piece of special hardened steel that goes on the stud and makes its own thread as it goes on. They tighten this up. The next time they make a pit stop, they simply take it off, and they have a set of threads that the thread chaser has made.
Well, that's very interesting, Benny. It's thread chasers. Sometimes in the quick action in the pits, they will cross-thread a lug nut, and that's the way they can fix it here if they have a problem on pit road. Mark Martin showing the way. Allison Grissom, Ellison Shepard. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. 2 of 197 laps here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in the Grand National Series AC Delco 200. Mark Martin is showing the way. Fellow Winston Cup campaigner Davey Allison in second place. A great run by Steve Grissom. Morgan Shepard puts his Ford in fourth spot. Dale Earnhardt showing in the fifth, 6 through 10. Dave Mader, our pole sitter, holding on the sixth spot. Darrell Waltrip is seventh. Harry Gant is eighth. Bobby Hill in ninth. And Kenny Schrader rounding out the top 10.
Dale Jarrett just went around Kenny Schrader for the 10th position. Schrader is a lap down now. There are only 6 cars, as a matter of fact, on the lead lap. Jerry, Tommy Ellis was up on the lead lap, but he made a green flag pit stop, so he now is being shown back in the 12th position.
There's Mark Martin in the car number 1. This car is owned by Bill Davis. We mentioned that Davis wanted to run for the entire championship next year, possibly in Busch Series racing. There is the second place car. You saw the interval between the front 2 cars. Mark Martin and Davey Allison. There's Allison in the Haviland Chevrolet. Now we are told that possibly Bill Davis, who owns the car number 1 of Mark Martin, might run a limited schedule with Dorsey Schrader. The IMSA GTO champion and former Trans Am Series champion. Schrader may run, we are told, as many as 8 or 9 Busch Series events and possibly 8 or 9 Winston Cup races next year.
Well, what has happened to Dave Mader, who started on the pole? Here he is about to try to move around Dale Earnhardt for 5th position. Mader has stayed in the lead lap all afternoon. We haven't seen much of him recently, but now about to get back on the scoreboard in 5th position if he can take this position from Earnhardt.
This would be Dave Mader's best finish of the year if he could get up in the top 5. He has had some impressive runs, particularly at Bristol, Tennessee on ESPN, where it looked to be going on his way to victory, and the car ran out of gas. It didn't pit quick enough up there. Mader, a 4-time All-American Challenge Series champion.
Jerry had a golden opportunity there. He was in front of Earnhardt as he started off with that turn. If he would have slid right up in front, or drove up in front of him, Earnhardt would have had to back off. But he didn't do it. He gave Earnhardt the room out there, and Earnhardt came right back on around him. There was a lot of traffic behind him there.
Car 96 back there.
Tom Peck being shown in 13th, and the 27 car being shown in 14th position. Car number 9 also. Now those cars are a lap down.
Action a lot of places here around the racetrack. North Carolina Motor Speedway. Warren Burton in the car number 9 being shown a lap down. His car was being shown in the 17th position.
Here's a battle. Harry Gant moving around at the top of the screen as we see Mark Martin. He's the leader, but just behind him was Harry Gant and Darrell Waltrip. There they are as they go into turn 1 side by side. That is for position. Both of those drivers are a lap down, but they're battling for the 7th position. And Gant gets the measure of Harry Gant. Now, he's not too far behind Mark Martin and is gaining on Mark Martin. He'd like to get up there and catch him and get back in the lead lap. Now, not too far behind these 2 cars is Dale Jarrett, who has been the fastest car on the track since that caution, but he had a stop-and-go penalty, so he has come from a half a lap down and is gaining on all of those cars. But Mark Martin still the man of the hour in the car number 1. He might just be sitting there riding. He certainly has the second place driver, Davey Allison, covered at this point, Jerry, so he's probably not too worried about those cars that are lapped down until he sees them real close in his rearview mirror.
Mark Martin trying to pick up Busch Series win number 4. His first win coming back in 1987 up at Dover, Delaware. That was that win that got him his Winston Cup ride, with Jack Roush standing and watching, looking for someone to drive his Winston Cup car. He won this race here. Actually, he won at this racetrack in the spring of 1988, and he won earlier this year at Myrtle Beach Speedway. 3 Busch Series wins for Mark Martin. He has come oh so close so many times. Only had to have problems late in the race.
And there is problems over in turn 2. The car has spun out down to the inside of the racetrack. The caution is out. It was Patty Moise in the Mike Laughlin Buick, car number 45.
Patty brings the car down the backstretch pit area. There are pits on both the front and back straightaways, and there is Patty's crew that will go to attend her Buick, Patty Moise.
I tell you, this is going to be a break for Dale Earnhardt, Jerry. He was not far from going a lap down to Mark Martin. Although he was running in 5th place, he and Dave Mader both were not far behind, or not far ahead of Mark Martin. So now they will remain in the lead lap. Now, who will pit and who won't pit?
A lot of drivers making an entry. Here comes the leader, Mark Martin, down pit road. Here again, likewise, Davey Allison, Darrell Waltrip. A lot of activity in the pits. Let's follow our leader here in the Carolina Ford Dealers car. Bill Davis crew going to work. They will change left side tires. Remember the Busch Series rule? Very, very busy pit road. You can only change 2 tires and no more than 2 under the caution flag. Davey Allison on the bottom of your screen. That's Martin on the top. He has changed left side tires and nearly gets impacted there by the Jack Sprague car, number 34, as he jumps on the brakes. Martin exiting the pits. And Dale Jarrett trying to get into pits, and he nearly comes together with the car.
Yeah, he was trying to get out of the pits, and Jimmy Hensley was coming in.
Let's take a look at what happened to Patty Moise over in turn 2. Her car now coming down across the banking. One car just evading it. Patty does a great job to keep that car from really getting heavily damaged into the wall. She brought the car down pit road. And that's the reason for the latest caution flag of the day. Caution number 5. Well, can Mark Martin hang on in the final laps? Will they chase him down? We'll find out when we come back after this. And our points leader escaping that. Actually, his car was slowing. It may have precipitated that crash. He was making his way down pit road. And Chuck Bound brings an Escafé Classic car in the pits. And let's check in and see what the problem was with Benny Parsons.
Jerry Punch, right now they're waiting to tell Chuck Bound that the green flag is being thrown by the starter. Jeff Hensley is waiting, watching the flagman, watching. As soon as he throws the green flag, I think I'll be able to talk to him. Hang on just 1 second. Hensley keeps watching intently the flagman. Keeps waiting. He pushes the button down, but the flag hasn't been thrown yet. Now he tells him to go. Jeff Hensley, how bad was the damage on the automobile?
Well, it's just cosmetic or just a bad break because we just come in and got tires and we're running real good. We run over a big piece of metal. I don't know what it was, but you can see it cut the whole right side of the wall out of the tire and flew up and caught the right front fender. But it's not rubbing now. We only got about, 15 laps to go. You tell me. I've lost count, but we just need to try to hang on and finish this thing and clinch this championship for Nescafe and Pontiac and Hensley Racing.
Hey, here's the tool that they used. Brad, let me show them the tool that they used to pull a fender off the right front tire. Very sophisticated hammer.
Yep, still works. There again, still trying to get his lap back from Mark Martin. He got it beside him a moment ago. Darrell Waltrip has slowed on. He went very high up in the turns and now is dropping back in the field. Waltrip was running in the 8th position, 1 lap down, and there Chuck Bound goes by as Waltrip stays out there running high on the track and about everybody going around him.
And if Chuck Bound can just hang on for 10 more laps, he will pick up the 1990 Busch Grand National Series Championship. His car just trying to hang on. 10 laps to go here in the AC Delco 200. Chuck Bound, the Nescafe Classic Pontiac, car number 63. Back up front, left of your screen, the car number 1. Mark Martin looking for win number 2 here this year. Harry again behind him trying to unlap himself. There's the car number 31. That is Steve Grissom. He has gone back around Dave Mader. Grissom in the 2nd place car. Big Mama Meat Snacks Oldsmobile. Morgan Shepherd in the car number 97 also in that fray. Down on the inside there is Earnhardt.
And they're all battling for position. Now Earnhardt trying to take over 3rd from Morgan Shepherd. And he gets by. Can he hold it? Does he come off the turn? Yep, I believe he is. Morgan Shepherd.
2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars right there, Dad. Excuse me, that's Grissom, Earnhardt, Shepherd, and Mader. Mader, of course, the pole center.
Davey Allison is running in 6th place. He had been up in 2nd, but he had several pit stops during the caution. They had some problems with the right rear wheel on that car, and he now is back in 6th position.
Dave Grissom would be his best finish on the Super Speedway. We mentioned he's won twice this year, and they are looking for a sponsor for 1991. We mentioned his sponsor this year, the Big Mama Meat Snacks Acme Food Company, has been bought out by Bobby Labonte's sponsor, Competing Snack Foods. Here in Busch Series Racing. Racing, and so the Big Mama snacks will go away for 91. And Grissom, by virtue of a great performance today, will have a good shot at obtaining a sponsor for 91. Great young man. He's being chased by two of the best, Dale Earnhardt and Morgan Shepherd. They run in third and fourth place. Ned, you made the call. You said the Fords are going to be strong here today. You said watch out for Mark Martin and Shepherd, and of course that's it. Mark Martin looks to win it if he can hang on, and Shepherd should get a top 5 finish.
They have been very impressive, and Martin in particular. Now, as we see here, again, has moved around Mark Martin, has gotten back in the lead lap. That'll put Terry in the 7th position, so that means 7 cars are on the lead lap. But Steve Grissom now moving up closer on Mark Martin. He has ideas of trying to pass that Ford.
Steve Grissom, a tremendous athlete in high school, a high school All-American defensive end. Turned down opportunities to play college football on a scholarship at some of the nation's best football programs to go stock car racing. It certainly has paid off. One of the most likable drivers on the circuit, trying to move in closer and closer as laps are now winding down. And Grissom now making the move inside of Mark Martin's Ford.
Wow. We haven't seen Grissom up towards the front today. Mark Martin has been the man up there, but right now, Grissom trying to take over the first position.
It has been a tough week for Steve Grissom as he tries to hang on. Did not qualify well, starting back in 33rd spot. The 27-year-old driver from Gadsden, Alabama, trying to hold on for 3 more circuits here on the 1-mile oval.
Here's Earnhardt trying to move around Mark Martin as well. Martin's car not working as well now as it was, or something's going wrong. He and Earnhardt touch a little bit. Earnhardt gets on the inside, carries Martin a little bit high as they come off of turn 4. It looks like Earnhardt will get second, and there's Morgan Shepherd right behind both of them.
Mark Martin's potent Ford is faltering here. That's the Winston Cup Championship battle that you'll see on ESPN here as the weeks wind down in that series. That, of course, is the Winston Cup, a different division of NASCAR. Earnhardt and Martin battling today in Busch Grand National competition in the battle on the racetrack. Those 3 veteran drivers, Morgan Shepherd, the third one in that bunch, battling now for second spot as Earnhardt makes the move by. Now Shepherd underneath Mark Martin. He will try to take the third spot away.
White flag is waving. Steve Grissom, 1 more lap to go. He is fast. He has moved around here again as we watch that battle for third. Earnhardt is in second, but Morgan Shepherd trying to take over third from Mark Martin here on this last lap.
Morgan Shepherd, Ford against Ford down in turn 3. Martin down on the bottom of the racetrack. Shepherd now on the inside groove as Martin gives him plenty of racing room. Steve Grissom will come down and win the AC Delco 200. We mentioned that Grissom lost the crew chief this week. Steve Bird moving on to the Kenny Wallace team, and Brian Frazier, his brother-in-law, became the crew chief. What a great way to have a super week. And of course, they are celebrating on pit road. Yes, there he is. Congratulations to Richard Charles Bound Jr., alias Chuck Bound, the 1990 Busch Grand National Series champion. And yes, indeed, the high fives for the Escafade Classic crew. There's Dennis Punch, the Busch Series representative, as he unfurls the Busch side. The 1990 Series champion, the lion's share of the $100,000 postseason purse will now go to Chuck Bound. A well-deserving driver, and then a well-deserved team.
Yes, they had a super season. We mentioned at the top of the show that things had not gone well in the last 7 races, and certainly didn't go well for them here today. But boy, in the early part of the year, in the middle part of the year, they were absolutely awesome. They won 6 races, so they've had a great year, and congratulations to them.
Well, Steve Grissom will make his way to victory lane, and we'll hopefully hear from him in a moment. And we will also hear from the 1990 Busch Series champion, Chuck Bound. Don't go away. We'll be back with more after this. North Carolina Motor Speedway, where Steve Grissom has picked up his 3rd Busch Series career win. Dale Earnhardt finishes 2nd, Morgan Shepherd is 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, and Dave Mader is 5th. We hope you enjoyed today's Speed World coverage of the Benny Parsons.
Steve Grissom, you come to Rockingham. Look what you found.
Boy, I tell you what, this beats the rock right here. I'm going to remember this one for a long time.
Your first victory on a super speedway.
Well, I tell you what, it wasn't too long ago till it was our first Busch victory, and to come back and this be the 3rd victory and on a speedway, I tell you what, it's just super.
I heard you lost your sponsor. You still going ahead in 1991?
Well, right now we're up in the air. We're not really for sure. We got a few things working, but you know, right now we're just going to enjoy this and worry about 91 tomorrow.
Well, Steve, we're talking to a race champ. We got to just move over here and talk to a series champ. Chuck Bound, congratulations, Busch Grand National Champion. How's it sound?
Well, it sounds good, Benny. We're thrilled. One race to go. Maybe we can wrap 1990 up with a victory at Martinsville, but I got to thank Nescafe and Pontiac and the Hensleys and Mike Laughlin, Kevin Blanks, everybody that made this happen. Drivers don't win championships, teams do, and this is a result of a year of hard work.
What about the spin out on pit road? What happened there?
Well, it was just a green flag stop, and I was coming in as hard as I could to try to make a good stop, and the tires were so worn out, I was on the brake hard, got the rear wheels hopping a little bit, and just lost it for a moment, which didn't help us any in the final results today, but we hung in there and finished the race and did the best we could. It wasn't real pretty, but it was good enough to ice the championship.
The fact that Hensley had all the troubles early, did that seem to affect your day? Did things start going wrong as soon as he had problems?
Well, it's been that way all year, you know. My bad luck turns into his bad luck, and I guess the same for us. When he has a bad day, things turn around for us. But, you know, we've had a lot of good races this season all year long, and he's had a great year, even though he wasn't able to get this championship, and I'm just tickled to get it. And, you know, both Jimmy Hensley and the Hensley Racing Team are from Horse Pasture, so maybe this will put Horse Pasture, Virginia on the map.
It was announced this week you're going to be back next year to defend your crown in Busch Grand National.
That's true. I'll be full-time Busch Grand National with the same team and try to make it 2 in a row with the Busch Grand National Series.
Chuck, congratulations on a great championship.
Thank you, Benny. I appreciate it. Hi, Mom and Dad.
And he will be a great champion. Let's take a look at the full field rundown here. The top 40, of course, Grissom winning it, Ned. And you see the top 5 there. Martin, who was a great force today, finishing in 4th spot. And a lot of drivers having a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah, several drivers made pit stops during the green, including Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Hillen, but they came back. Darrell Waltrip ran strong all day, but he had a problem near the end of the race. Ed Berry topped him out the top 20 there.
Jimmy Hensley finishing 25th, Ned. He was the guy who wanted to win the championship. Patty Moise back in 30th. Jeff Burton and being involved in an accident. And, of course, these guys wanted to run well here. This is the last Super Speedway race, but not the last race of the year. They go to Martinsville, Virginia, of course, next week. The point standings going to Martinsville. Chuck Bound having won it all. Hensley in 2nd spot in point standings. Labonte, Grissom, and then Kenny Wallace, the top 5. 6 through 10, Tom Peck, Tommy Ellis, L.D. Ottinger, a close battle there. Rick Mast in 9th and Tommy Houston in 10th spot. A great afternoon of racing here, and that crew right there, Jeff and Hubert Hensley, the Nescafe Classic crew, a long year worth of work paying off for them as their driver, Chuck Bound, wins the championship. But the man who won the war today, Steve Grissom, just 27 years of age from Gaston, Alabama. Grissom getting the victory, his first on the Super Speedway. For Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punch saying so long from Rockingham, and again, congratulations to the national champs. Certainly Earnhardt, he's almost driving the car. He's talking to his young driver, Jeff Green. Winn-Dixie leading and Food City in pursuit. Riding along the Food City roof cam with Jeff Green. Where you go? 3 laps, that's all there is. That's all that's remaining.
I think Jeff's going to have a tough Martin.
Keeping that car up, Ken, right down to the bottom of that yellow. Battle for 5th spot, 4th spot, actually. Bill Parsons, it's unlucky. White flag left, white flag. That's Sandy Jones telling Steve Grissom, white flag. That's the final lap for Mark Martin. He's got it about 4 car lengths underneath Curtis Markham. There's Jeff Green in 2nd spot.
And in trouble in turns 1 and 2. A couple of cars get together.
Good job, buddy.
The checkered flag wave.
Slow it down.
And all the trouble is gone, and boy, David Green got a tough break. He goes back to 7th spot, was running 3rd just a moment ago.
Let's get up off the corner after a few laps. Jeff Green up in waves. Now here's what was happening while the leaders were coming through 3 and 4 for the checkered flag.
The 90 car gets just, he goes under there to try to miss who, Ned?
It was the 15 car, Tony Stewart and
Glenn Allen in the 99 car.
believe so, yes.
Dale Jarrett went up high to miss that mess up there, but and here's what happened to the 95 car with 5 laps to go.
Kenny Wallace gets underneath him. They make a little bit of contact. David Green goes high, and the freight train goes by down on the inside. He went from 3rd back to 7th.
Well, for the 2nd week in a row, Mark Martin is on his way to victory lane, and the car has already made it there. The Goodies headache powder is 250.
David Green's about like 3-putting on 18 for the championship, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mark will get a big swig of Gatorade. He won the Gatorade halfway money, so rightfully so, he'll get that.
What'd you tell me this morning?
3rd win in 1996 in NASCAR Busch Series competition. Mark Martin, the pole sitter for Sunday's Food City 500 NASCAR Winston Cup event, which you'll be able to see live flag to flag on ESPN.
Mark Martin talking to Bill Broderick. Where's Matt's going to hold up that number 1 finger?
Are you okay? Yeah. I'll bet if he's here, he will.
Let's listen. Let's go down to Bill Weber. Bill?
And here's Mark Martin. Hey, Mark, where's Matt? Where's Matt?
I don't know. He's probably on his way.
I'm sure his congratulations. Now, Bobby Leslie told me before the race you didn't have a great car, but you certainly had a great run today.
Well, we did. Thanks to Winn-Dixie crew for hanging in there and putting together good cars. Got awful steamy engines this year. We really want to thank everybody at Roush Racing for putting engines in there like that. We wasn't exactly right there today, but we were better than we were yesterday, and it was enough today.
95 was coming on you there at the end, too. Then the 3.
Yeah, they were strong. My car was okay on the long runs, but wasn't real swift after the cautions, and got a couple there at the end. Had to, really work at it.
I know you're looking at Sunday, but that's 2 in a row on Saturday. You're pointing in the right direction, aren't you? How about tomorrow?
We'd really like to win tomorrow and win that bonus money and everything else. That'd really set the tone for the rest of the season.
Okay, Mark Martin's in victory lane today, and he's on the pole here at Bristol tomorrow.
Guys, remarkably, this is the 4th race in 1996 that Mark Martin has led the most laps, yet he has not led a single lap in Winston Cup competition this year. That could change tomorrow. We'll be right back. NASCAR Busch Grand National Series event has been brought to you by Dynamax Performance Exhaust Systems, engineered by Walker. By Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. And Bill was called up with Jeff Green.
Hey, you were sitting in the seat, but what was the name of that co-pilot you had there that was coaching you around?
One of them Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, he was, he's a veteran, and he knows every inch of this racetrack, so it doesn't hurt me to listen to him. And, he just sees where I mess up and tries to help me. He don't try to hurt me any, so he's awful good at that. But our car was awful good. Guys did a good job on the pit stops, and, what can I say? Good wrench, and Food City, I guess we'll have to come back here and win it for Food City in August.
Hey, did he know that was your brother you were trying to get around there at the end?
Well, he's just another race car to me out there. You gotta race him clean. I try to race everybody clean, so he gave me a shot underneath there, and I took it, so that's what it takes.
Well, these guys had a brutal start to the season, but Jeff Green and the 3 bunch coming back here, big day at Bristol.
Thank you, man.
Best finish of the year, and there's the car he drove, Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And special thanks to the folks from Racing Electronics who provided the driver communications. You're able to hear all day long from the spotters, from Dale Earnhardt coaching his young driver. And, of course, RPM coming your way 2 times tomorrow at RPM today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. Of course, that's coming your way. Kenny Mayne. Preview of the Formula One Grand Prix of Brazil, highlights of the Australian IndyCar, and preview of the Food City 500. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night, full coverage, review of the Food City 500, highlights of Brazilian Grand Prix, and highlights of Jeremy McGrath from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. And don't forget, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, RPM tonight. John Kernan and all the staff down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Benny Parsons there on Monday nights. I'm there on Tuesday nights. And John Kernan and the staff with all kinds of exciting special guests Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Take a look at our results on